Good evening and welcome. Tonight we're going to start reading this awesome book. It's called History, Year by Year. And this book was very kindly donated to my channel by a very loyal viewer named Lynn Mendoza. Thank you so much, Lynn, for this book. If you want to donate a book to my channel, I have my Amazon wish list down in the description box below. You can check that out. Anyway, this book is awesome and it's really, really long, so let's just dive right in. So tonight we're going to read this section. I've got a pencil here to help. From 6.5 million years ago to 3000 BCE, before history began. And we're going to read the timelines here. There's, I'll show you later on, but there's some cool pages in between. We're going to save those for another day. Today we're just going to read the timelines. This book is really awesome. It goes all the way up to 2018, which honestly, pretty good place to stop historically in my opinion. A lot happened after that. So 6.5 million years ago to 3000 BCE, before history began. Let me move this up a tiny bit. The human story began more than 6 million years ago in Africa, when our ape-like ancestors first began to walk upright. Over time they evolved, becoming bigger and more intelligent. One species, Homo erectus, learned how to use fire and to make stone tools. They were followed by more advanced species until around 200,000 years ago. Our own species, Homo sapiens, appeared. As hunter-gatherers, modern humans settled every inhabited part of the planet. Then around 9500 BCE, humans began to farm, which led to a new way of life. So let's check out some history. You can see our section here is from 6.5 to 0.2 million years ago. Here is a picture of the cradle of humankind. It says, humans belong to a family of upright walking apes called hominins, which evolved in East and South Africa. We know about hominins thanks to their fossils. One of the most important sites is the Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, where hominin fossils date from around 1.9 million years ago. The gorge is known as the cradle of humankind. So here's our timeline, starting 6.5 million years ago. Two-legged apes. The first apes able to walk upright appeared in the forests of Africa. They combined walking with swinging from trees. The earliest evidence found so far is called Sahelanthropus chadensis, or human fossils from the Sahel. Let's go down to just after 4 million years ago to 3.9 million years ago. Human ancestors. A new group of hominins called Australopithecines spread across the dry grasslands of East and South Africa. They were small, with brains a third of the size of those of modern humans, but their footprints were much like ours. Moving to here, we have 3.3 million years ago, early tool makers. An early hominin species, possibly Australopithecus, learned how to make stone tools by striking pebbles with other stones to create a cutting edge. They used their tools to dig up roots, open nuts, and smash open bones to get at edible marrow on the inside. Let me, hold on. Set this down for just a second. I have a candle lit over here. It's very cold where I am, so got some clean cotton going. But I'm going to have to move this if I want to slide the book down so we don't start a fire or anything. There we go. Okay. The candle so I can put my hand over it every once in a while because my fingers are very, very cold. So anyway, let's see. Anyway, the tool makers, we're moving down to 1.9 million years ago. Human-sized. Homo erectus, upright man, a descendant of Homo habilis, evolved in East Africa. The discovery of an almost complete skeleton called the Turkana boy showed that Homo erectus was the first hominin to grow as tall as modern humans. There's his skull. Moving down to here, 0.5 million years ago, the first shelters. Descendants of Homo erectus, called Homo heidelbergensis, moved into Europe, where they hunted elephants and hippos with stone-tipped spears. They were the first hominins to build shelters out of wood. And then, 0.2 million years ago, modern humans. The first modern humans, called Homo sapiens, or thinking man, appeared in Africa 200,000 years ago. They were larger-brained descendants of Homo heidelbergensis. Our distinguishing features are the high forehead with slight brow ridges, a small face, and a projecting chin, as you can see here. Bigger skull case to hold a bigger brain. Let's see what else we have. It says, out of Africa. Less than 100,000 years ago, our species Homo sapiens moved out of Africa to settle the world, as shown on this map. We were not the first hominins to leave Africa. Around 1.9 million years ago, Homo erectus moved out of Africa into Eurasia. So let's see. This is where Homo sapiens would have evolved, moving south, moving east, and then moving north eventually, moving into Europe, moving into southern Asia, then eventually down here, down through here, moving up there, and then after a very long time, moving around and around and around, and some moving down here, and then moving all the way down here and all the way down here. That's a lot of traveling, isn't it? Longest standing hominin. Homo erectus was the longest surviving hominin species. They lived across large areas of Africa, southern Europe, Asia, and Indonesia for more than 1.5 million years. Here's a Homo erectus skull. And then we have a new tool. Homo erectus invented a new kind of stone tool, the leaf-shaped hand axe, in Africa around 1.9 million years ago. This was the first tool to be made to a design, and it would remain the main hominin tool for over 1 million years. So weird to wrap my head around. So yeah, these pages we're going to read another day. This is all about hunter-gatherers. Oops. There we go. We're just going to stick to the timeline. Next, we're looking at 200,000 to 10,000 BCE. Let's travel down the timeline right to here. At 110,000 BCE, ice sheets. This period marked the beginnings of a 100,000-year-long cold phase in the Earth's climate, in which ice sheets periodically spread south from the Arctic and sea levels sank. In Eurasia, forests gave way to steppe and grassland, inhabited by animals adapted to the cold, such as the woolly mammoth, right here, and woolly rhinoceros. I think it's really sweet, even though it's gigantic. Moving over here, 85,000 to 70,000 BCE into Asia. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, moved out of Africa and into Asia. They then spread east across South Asia, keeping to the warmer southern regions. The previous human species in Asia, Homo erectus, had already become extinct. Then at 50,000 BCE, the first sea voyages. Modern humans from Asia made the earliest known boat journeys, crossing the sea to settle Australia. There they found unfamiliar new animals, including the giant kangaroo and many large flightless birds. many of these became extinct following the arrival of humans. We've got a lot happening right here. So first, we have at 40,000 BCE, the Cro-Magnons. The first modern humans in Europe are called Cro-Magnons after a site in France. They were the first people to make tailored clothes using bone needles. There's the bone needles. It's pretty cool, actually. Then at 39,000 BCE, the first artists. Early humans created works of art, cave paintings of animals, and carvings of animals and people. They also left images of their own hands on the cave walls by spitting or blowing pigment over them. You can see here. That's really incredible. That's neat. It's like a very cool time capsule, like a signature. I was here. That's neat. Moving on to 38,000 BCE, the last Neanderthals. Following a period of extreme climate change, Neanderthals became extinct. With the disappearance of the last Neanderthals, Homo sapiens was the only human species on Earth. 15,000 BCE, into America. Modern humans from Asia crossed into the Americas following herds of game. They were able to do this because the lower sea levels created a land bridge between the two continents, where today the Bering Strait divides Russia from Alaska. Then at 14,000 BCE, the first pots. Hunter-gatherers in Japan made the first pots, clay copies of woven baskets called jomon, or cord-patterned ware. You can see. There we go. Let me just finish reading this. In most other places, pottery was only invented once people became settled farmers. So corded ware because of the pattern here on the pottery, like long cords wrapped around it. The jomon pot. Let's check out this box about Neanderthals, 200,000 BCE. In Europe and the Near East, Neanderthals, a new human species adapted to cold conditions, appeared. Stocky and muscular, Neanderthals hunted large mammals using spears at close quarters. Neanderthals dressed in skins and lived in caves where they also buried their dead. Neanderthals probably lived in extended family groups in rock shelters or in caves. A skin scraper. Neanderthals made a wide range of tools and weapons. This scraper for preparing skins was shaped by chipping flakes from the flint with a hammer or of bone or antler. You can see here. That's really cool. We can read this about the amazing art in Lascaux caves. Magical creatures. Around 17,000 years ago in Lascaux, France, early people decorated a network of caves with paintings of 2,000 animals, including horses, aurochs, bison, and stags. Perhaps these paintings were used in ceremonies to bring good hunting. We do not know. But when they were illuminated by the flickering light of stone lamps, the beasts must have seemed to have magical powers. Absolutely incredible. I love that quote from Picasso when he got to see the caves and he was like, they invented all art. They did it all. So incredible. Anyway. Alright. Moving on to 10,000 to 3,000 BCE. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is going to be the last page tonight. This is the shortest chapter, so next episode will be way, way longer. Starting at 9,500 BCE, we have the first farmers. People in Egypt and the Near East became the first farmers. With the arrival of farming, a new period called the Neolithic or New Stone Age began. In other parts of the world where people still lived as hunter-gatherers, the Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age continued. Over here at 9,000 BCE is Göbekli Tepe. Thought to be the world's oldest place of worship, This prehistoric temple in modern-day Turkey is older than the ancient Egyptian pyramids by around 6,500 years. Excavated in 1995, the site is made up of rings of monumental stone blocks surrounding T-shaped pillars that are carved with pictures of animals such as snakes and vultures. Look at that. That's awesome. What is it called? The Ancient Lost Cities, Ancient Tombs book has chapters about a lot of these things coming up on this page. So next time we read that book, you're going to learn so much more about this place. It's so neat. Anyway, moving on to making sure I'm not skipping any. 5000 BCE, copper tools. People in Central Europe and Western Asia made the first metal tools from copper. Stone tools remained the most commonly used, and so historians call this period of prehistory the Chalcolithic or Copper Stone Age. Moving on to a lot of events at this time in history. Let's start up here. 4000 to 2500 BCE, tomb builders. Farming people in Europe set up large stone tombs, the earliest called dolmens, you can see here. Used standing stones supporting a horizontal table stone. Originally, dolmens would have been covered with earth mounds. A tomb of the ancestor showed the right of the living to hold the land. Also, from 4000 to 3000 BCE, the first cities. The first cities emerged in Mesopotamia and modern-day Iraq. Each city was ruled by a king on behalf of a local god who was worshipped in a great temple. You can see there's the king apparently. This is a door plaque, it says. From 4000 to 3000 BCE also we have horse riders. People began to ride horses on the steppes or grassy plains of Europe and Asia. They lived as shepherds, leading flocks of sheep across the steppes in search of fresh grazing. A lot happening right here. 3500 BCE, Chinese bronze. In China and Western Asia, people discovered that by mixing tin with copper, they could make a much harder metal, bronze. In 3300 BCE, the first writing. The Sumerians invented an early writing system called cuneiform. Around the same time, Egyptians invented another writing system called hieroglyphic. It used picture signs which stood for words, ideas, and sounds. Then at 3100 BCE, the first kings. The first kings ruled in Egypt. The earliest we know was named Narmer, shown on this carving, wearing the white and red crowns of Upper or Southern and Lower or Northern Egypt. Narmer may have united the two lands in a single kingdom. You can see him here. He looks very imposing. What else do we have? Oh, here we have a box from 7300 BCE with Çatalhöyük. The earliest known town is Çatalhöyük, in what is now Turkey. The settled lifestyle enabled farmers to grow a surplus to support craft workers and to trade. People imported cowrie shells, obsidian or volcanic glass, and copper, and exported obsidian daggers, mirrors, and jewelry. Crowded town. People lived in mud brick houses that were tightly packed together. There were no doors, and houses were entered through ladders from the roofs. Look at this. And make sure it's in the shot here. A deer disguise. Isn't this incredible? Let's see what it says. This deer antler headdress was worn by a Mesolithic hunter in northern Britain in around 7500 BCE. It may have been worn as a disguise when stalking game or for ritual dances, perhaps to contact the spirits of the deer. That's so, haunting. It's like, it reminds me of Princess Mononoke with the antlers, the tiny eyes. There's something very, deeply humanly primal about that. And lastly, let's read about Otzi the Iceman from 3300 BCE. In 1991, hikers in the Ötztal Alps between Austria and Italy discovered the body of a man in melting ice. At first, they thought he was a modern-day victim. In fact, he was 5,300 years old. The man, nicknamed Otzi, had died after being shot with an arrow. Clothing and equipment. The body was found wearing a bearskin hat, clothes of deer and goat hide, and deer and bearskin shoes stuffed with grass. Otzi also had a bow and arrows, a copper axe, a flint dagger, a fire-making kit, and berries for food. And here's Otzi's axe. Otzi's axe had a copper blade bound to a wooden handle with leather thongs. This is the only complete prehistoric axe ever found. Fascinating. So anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. I would go on and read more, but the next chapter is really long. Let's see. Really ancient history. Looks like we're going to talk about the Olmecs, Stonehenge, Babylonia, ancient India, ancient Egypt, ancient Mycenae, and squid. Very exciting. So that'll be on another day. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you found this video relaxing and educational. Let me know what you learned, if you learned anything